Let's have an honest conversation. A really honest one. You see the headlines, you scroll past the Instagram posts of people retiring in their 30s, living on a beach, a laptop their only office. You hear the words financial independence, retire early, the FIRE movement, and it sounds like a modern day American dream. Then you look at your own reality. You look at your paycheck. Maybe it's a respectable number, a number that society tells you should be enough, something like $60,000 a year. But as you look at that number, a quiet, nagging question bubbles up from a place of deep-seated stress. Is that dream even possible for me? It feels like a world away, doesn't it? Especially when the cost of everything, from a carton of eggs to a two-bedroom apartment, seems to be in a never-ending race to the top. This isn't just a feeling, it's the lived reality from millions. It's the paradox of the modern middle class. You work hard, you do everything you're supposed to do, yet the goalposts of financial security seem to move further away each year. The idea of retiring early feels less like a goal and more like a cruel joke. But what if I told you that the feeling of impossibility is based on a set of rules that you don't have to play by? What if the path to financial freedom isn't about earning a six-figure salary, but about fundamentally changing your relationship with money itself? Today, we're not going to sell you a dream. We're going to build a bridge. A bridge made of cold, hard math from where you are now to a future you might not have thought possible. We are going to dissect that $60,000 salary down to the last cent and answer once and for all, can you actually retire early on what feels like an average income? The answer is far more interesting than a simple yes or no. First, let's deconstruct that number, $60,000 a year. It sounds solid, but it's not the number you actually live on. To make this real, let's create a persona. Let's call her Alex. Alex is 28, lives in a medium cost of living city, say Columbus, Ohio, and earns $60,000. Right off the top, we have taxes. After federal, state, and FICA taxes, her $60,000 gross income becomes roughly $48,000 in take-home pay. That is our real starting point, $4,000 a month. Now, let's build Alex's budget. The big three expenses first: housing, transportation, and food. A modest one-bedroom apartment in Columbus might be $1,200. Let's add $150 for utilities. That's $1,350 gone. Next, transportation. Alex has a reliable but not flashy used car. The payment, insurance, and gas come to about $450 a month. We're now at $1,800. Then food. If Alex is careful, cooking most meals at home with a few nights out, groceries and dining might average $400 a month. That brings our total to $2,200. But wait, there's more. Student loans? A very common reality. Let's add $300 for that. Phone bill? $50. Health insurance premiums, subscriptions, personal care, maybe a little bit for fun and seeing friends. Let's be conservative and add another $450. Suddenly, Alex's monthly expenses are $3,000. Out of a $4,000 take-home pay, she's left with $1,000. And this is with a disciplined, no-frills budget. For many, that remaining amount is even smaller. Sometimes it's zero. So when you're told to just save more, it feels like an insult. Save what exactly? This is the financial quicksand most people find themselves in. This is why early retirement feels like a myth. But understanding this reality is the first step, because freedom isn't found in what you earn. It's found in the gap you can create between your earning and your spending. Before we do our surprising math, we need to understand the three foundational principles of the entire FIRE movement. Think of these as the laws of physics for financial independence. Principle number 1, the 4% rule. This is your finish line. The 4% rule is a guideline that says you've reached financial independence when you can live off 4% of your total investments each year, theoretically forever. To figure out your FIRE number, you just multiply your desired annual spending by 25. In Alex's case, if she lives on $36,000 a year, her FIRE number is $36,000 times 25, which equals $900,000. That's the target. It's a big number, yes, but it's a real number. Principle number 2, the savings rate. This is your engine. This is the single most important factor. Not a high salary, not risky stock picks. It is the percentage of your take-home pay that you save and invest. A 10% savings rate is a great start. A 50% savings rate is a rocket ship. The higher your savings rate, the faster your journey, exponentially. We'll see this in action shortly. Principle number 3, the magic of compound interest. This is your fuel. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. It's your money making money, and then that new money making even more money. It's a slow, boring process at first, but over decades, it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth. We'll assume a conservative 7% average annual return after inflation based on historical stock market data. So,
we have our target, our engine, and our fuel. We understand the reality of our budget. Now, let's put it all together and see what happens. Okay, it's time for the moment of truth. We have our persona, Alex, with her $48,000 take-home pay. We know her target FIRE number is $900,000. Let's run the numbers based on two different paths, two different life choices. Path A, the normal path. Let's say Alex follows the conventional wisdom. She's a good saver. She puts away about 10% of her take-home pay. That's $4,800 a year, or $400 a month. It's a respectable amount, more than many people manage. If she invests this diligently, earning that 7% real return we talked about, how long will it take her to reach her $900,000 goal? The answer is about 41 years. If she starts at 28, she'll reach her goal around age 69. This is standard retirement. It's a good outcome, sure, but it's not early retirement. It's the path society lays out for us. It works, but it's a long, long road. This is why the dream feels so distant. Now, what if Alex decides to play a different game? She gets intentional. She decides to make financial independence a priority. She goes through her budget not just to trim fat, but to redesign her life around what truly brings her value, aiming to aggressively increase her savings rate. This isn't about deprivation, it's about intentional spending. Let's imagine a week in Alex's new life. On Monday, instead of buying a $5 coffee and a $12 lunch, she uses a thermos for coffee she made at home and eats a healthy meal she prepped over the weekend. On Wednesday night, instead of scrolling through streaming services she barely uses, she audits her subscriptions and cancels 3 of them instantly, saving $40 a month. On Saturday, instead of going to the mall out of boredom, she discovers a beautiful hiking trail just outside the city, a hobby that is both fulfilling and free. She starts to see her money not as something to spend, but as a tool to buy back her time, her most valuable asset. By making dozens of these small, intentional choices, she attacks the big 3 expenses. She moves to a slightly cheaper apartment with a roommate, saving $300 a month. She sells her car and uses a combination of public transport and biking, saving another $400 a month. These are significant lifestyle changes, yes, but they are choices. Suddenly, she has an extra $700 to invest each month. Her total monthly savings are now $1,700. That's $20,400 a year. Her savings rate just jumped from 25% to over 42%. This is where everything changes. So let's rerun the calculation. Starting from zero, investing $20,400 per year with that same 7% average return. How long does it take to reach that same $900,000 target? The answer is about 20 years. Let that sink in for a second. By making strategic, focused changes, Alex cut her working career in half. She now reaches financial independence at age 48 instead of 69. That's 21 extra years of freedom. 21 years to travel, to start a passion project, to spend time with family, to do whatever she wants. This is the surprising math. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-free slower than the gurus, but way faster than everyone else. Now, I can hear the objections already. Let's tackle them head-on. The big one, what if the market crashes? And the honest answer is, it will. Probably several times. But here's the perspective we need. Over a 20-year timeline, a diversified portfolio doesn't just survive crashes, it often thrives on them. You keep investing, buying more shares at a discount when everyone else is panicking. Your timeline is your greatest defense. Another one, what about inflation? Won't that $900,000 be worthless? That's a great question. That's why we used a 7% real return. That number already has the historical average of inflation factored out. Your purchasing power is protected. But I'll be too old to enjoy the money. I don't want to sacrifice my entire youth. This is the biggest misunderstanding about FIRE. The goal isn't to suffer for 20 years. The goal is to align your spending with your happiness. You often discover that the expensive things you thought made you happy actually didn't. The process itself of taking control of your life brings its own joy. Freedom isn't just a destination, it's a feeling you cultivate along the way. So no, you don't need to be a tech millionaire to retire early, but you do need to be intentional. You need to be a strategist for your own life. A $60,000 salary isn't a lottery ticket to instant freedom, but it's absolutely, mathematically, a powerful enough tool to buy back decades of your time if you choose to wield it with purpose. So what's your first step? It's not to sell your car tomorrow. It's simpler. For the next 7 days, just track your spending. Write down where every single dollar goes. No judgment, just data. That's it. This awareness is the foundation upon which all financial freedom is built. The path is long, but it is real, and it's available to more of us than we've been led to believe.